Hi Aries, welcome to your February Horoscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and this resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for it. With that said, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on the website address below. And if you haven't got your seat yet, March 1st, Mindset Magic is going live. There are only 10 spaces left. So if you want to get yours, please get on that now. You can do so on the link in the description box below. With that said, I would like to bless all of my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you all on your paths to your highest vibrational good. So I can't pick up all of the cards because I've got a lot of decks here today. And the reason I have a lot of decks here is because I'm adding something into the mix today. Because February is a leap year month. So with that said, let's have a look, see what your actions and interactions with the world at large, what can you expect for February? You get the Lovers card, right? So this is about you seeking partnerships, collaborations, possibly for some of you this is about a love interest coming into your life or into your midst. Now the thing about the actions and interactions with the world at large, it's what you do, right? It's the path that you take, it's the way that you move through life and the path that you take to move through life. And the Lovers card talks about choices, but in this deck in particular, look at that. It's very much about love, connection. It's about bringing opposing things together or weighing options up to choose between things. So I'm going to say this to you, for those of you that have a little bit of a triangle thing going on, or those of you that are trying to choose between one partner and another, or maybe choosing, which potential is going to be the one that finally wins your heart or your body, or both. Hopefully both. This is really about you going through that process, and it's not even so much a process of elimination, it's more a process of selection. I feel like this is very much about you asking yourself, who is it that actually really sits right with me, and ultimately how is it that we're going to build each other up. I think you're asking some of the deeper questions when it comes to relationships, when it comes to partnerships and collaborations, but these are the things that you're really seeking this month. And it kind of feels to me like you're making this is a serious thing. It's not just about you saying, oh well, I've got all of these different people to choose from, or I've got these two people to choose from. It's not about that for you. It's about, which one am I going to truly be able to give the best of myself to, and which one do I feel is actually going to match me with that same energy. And that's what you're seeking this month, very much people of like mind and people of similar energy, which is brilliant, right? Because ultimately when you're coming from that place of authenticity, it's very, very difficult to get crossed wires in any way, shape or form. So let's have a look at your money and materials. You have the Ace of Swords. So money looks good this month. I mean, the Ace of Swords does suggest that, because it falls right next to the Lovers card, right? This really does. This month you're getting very serious about finances, getting very proactive about making the right decisions to look after your money and your materials. The other thing is as well, for a lot of you, this could be about now. It is a Mercury retrograde this month, and Mercury is going to be in retrograde until March the 9th, I believe, but it's not going to come out of shadow until the 29th of March. So if you can absolutely hang on, my advice to you would be, and the reason I say this is because I'm seeing some of you applying for a loan or some sort of funding. And if that is the case, or even if you're, applying for a new job and stuff, you want to try and shoot for after that time. Mercury goes retrograde on I believe it's the 9th of Feb. And it's the 9th of Feb it goes retrograde. And it comes out of retrograde and shadow in March, but on the 29th of March is where it passes the degree that it goes retrograde on. So you just want to be really careful about signing anything for the long term, or anything where there's details and stuff. And I mean, this one's in Pisces as well. If you remember the Mercury retrograde that took place in 2019 around the same time last year, then this is not the time for you to be making sort of any big commitments in that respect. I mean, if you have to do it, then do it, but just check the fine print and maybe get somebody else to go over it. Always get a second or even a third opinion if you can in a Mercury retrograde. But money for you guys in general looks good. It looks like you're really starting to make some very practical, very logical decisions. I kind of feel like you're taking the emotion and the passion out of things and just saying, right, let's just look at the facts and the figures, which is brilliant. In terms of materials, yeah, I mean, for some of you, this could really be the final month where you decide that you're ready to move. And as I've said in the weeklies, you know, across the board, I think there's going to be big movements, big amounts of people moving this year, more than any other year than I've seen in general, to be honest. Communications with the world at large, you've got the Empress card. This is beautiful, right? Because it suggests that communications, even with Mercury retrograde, are pretty harmonious for you this month. And I'll be honest, because you've got Mercury, I mean, especially if you're on ascendant Aries, this Mercury retrograde is taking place in your 12th house. So this kind of suggests that there's something almost ethereal about your speech. This could be a month where you're literally speaking in prophecy. So my advice to you with that, speak the prophecies that you want to see. If you're manifesting as you speak, the Empress, you know, represents Venus and Taurus, all of the blessings in your communications, they look good. But if you want to see manifestation take place, if you want, you know, good things to happen for you in your life, stay focused on the things that you do want to create. Shameless plug, if you haven't got your seat yet, if you're on this kind of energy, Mindset Magic can absolutely help you. It is not just a flash in the pan. It's going to be a 6-week course where you're going to build successively on each technique, and there are 8 techniques that I will be teaching you, that I will take you through, and you're going to build on these each week. And by the time you get to the end of this, you will have literally a whole process of how to manifest anything in your life. With that said, communications looks good, easy, harmonious this month, which is ultimately what you want. Love and relationships, you've got the Ace of Pentacles. So what do we see here before we go anywhere else? 2 aces. This is all about beginnings. It's about fresh starts. There is definitely a new relationship on the horizon for all Aries. For all of you single Aries, there is definitely the potential. There is somebody around you in your midst, very likely to be a Gemini, possibly could be a Libra. You know, that's really, really possible because, like I said, we've got the Empress there. She is Venus. She can be Taurus, but she can also be Libra. And then you've got the Lovers card there that's Gemini. So those are the 2 signs that I feel like are going to be really compatible for Aries this month, especially those of you that are single. It looks like a new beginning in love. For those of you that are partnered, this is about you and your partner really making the right steps financially to move forward together. There's a lot of support that you're giving, but there's also a lot of support that you're getting reciprocated. This is a really good month for relationships in general for you, Aries, and I think you should revel in this as long as you have it there to utilize. So let's have a look at the weeks of your month. Week 1, you have the Temperance card right underneath the Lovers. So not just seeking balance or making decisions between them and, you know, them and the other. This is about you making decisions that feel like they come from the spirit, that feel like they come from the depths of who you are. There's a lot of divine guidance coming in for you this month. Now, this first week, it could see you really asking some bigger, broader questions about where you live, but also about who is really feeding your soul, who is really feeding your spirit. And this is what you're kind of saying to yourself with that Lovers card. As long as they feel good in here, then you know what, I'm about it. And you know that, unfortunately, in that respect, you do have to go through a process of elimination. There's going to be a lot of that happening over the next few months. You know, lots of things breaking apart and different new things coming together, and it's all basically aimed at the, you know, the highest good for all involved. You've got the High Priestess for the second week underneath that Ace of Swords. Yeah, when it comes to the money and the finances, I feel like you're making good decisions, but like I said, when it comes to any documents or anything like that, it's like you just don't have all of the details. So if you can hold off on any of that, then please do. The other thing with the High Priestess, because it comes with the Ace of Swords, this could be a hidden thing when it comes to your money that is revealed. This could be money that you didn't realize you were entitled to. It could be money that maybe you've overpaid on something and you get it all back. Doesn't all have to be doom and gloom with a Mercury retrograde. But this High Priestess is definitely bringing something to light when it comes to your finances. And because it comes with the Ace of Swords, the feeling that I get from this is it's something that's going to swing in your favor, but it's something that you're not expecting or you don't know about, or maybe you've just forgotten about. All right, so let's have a look, see at your third week. You have the World card right underneath the Empress. So you've got a double hit of this sort of earthy blessing, you know, move forward kind of energy. Now, the fact that you've got this underneath the Empress, I feel like conversations and communications will be good this month. But more importantly, there's a feeling of you really being ready to step up or step forward in some way, shape or form. And the World card is basically informing you that from here, there's not going to be any more maybes, right? So wherever it is that you've had those, maybe you're waiting for people, by the end of this month, and certainly by the time we get to the end of the Mercury retrograde, you will be very clear on who and what you want in your time, in your life, or in your space. There's a lot of that coming through. And also, when it comes to the job, when it comes to work or the profession, I'm seeing either new work or a new business for a lot of you. This is about you really finding the right energy, and also really kind of setting that out. What is the intention? What do I need from work? What do I need from the place that I live in? The place that I work in. So, you know, that's coming through, which is really nice. And then finally, for your fourth week, you have the Sun card right underneath the Ace of Pentacles. For those of you that are single, there is definitely somebody new coming in for you this month, probably likely to come right at the end of February, which is absolutely beautiful. For those of you that are partnered, you and your partner, the finance looks good this month. Finance looks like it's almost like you're getting on even ground, you know, like you're really starting to understand what your individual needs are, but what your collective goals are, and meshing those two things together, which is beautiful. I really, really like that. I really like that. So your key to the month is the Hanged Man, right? So no sharp, short, swift movements this month. You've got to take it easy. This is going to be a month where you just need to let things unfold and play out as they want to, or as they need to. And then finally, your leap year message. So for the 29th of February, I'm suggesting that everybody do something different, something that they've never done before, or something that they've never dared to do before. And you guys are kind of like the brave ones of the zodiac. So your leap year message is the Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords is basically saying to you, this is a time for you to trust your feelings. It's a time for you to really go within and ask your gut, what is the next step from here? Even if it doesn't necessarily make sense, you're getting this message for a reason. So you're being asked to trust your gut, trust your instincts, Aries. This is a time to go for it, whatever that might mean to you. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up for you. Take care, and I'll see you soon.